I have listened to strangers confess the darkest truths of their lives while sitting under bright studio lights. I have watched people shatter and rebuild themselves within a single conversation. I always believed I understood pain, secrets, forgiveness. I built my career around it. But nothing prepared me for the night I accidentally listened to my own life fall apart from behind a half-closed door. It started with something small. I had come home earlier than expected after my recording was postponed. I remember feeling relieved, excited even, thinking I might surprise Mom and Mira. The house smelled like ginger tea and lavender polish, the familiar scent of comfort. I slipped off my shoes and walked quietly toward the kitchen when I heard my name float out from the living room. "She's 21 now," my mother said, her voice tight and fragile. "We cannot hide it from her forever." I froze. Mira answered, but her voice sounded nothing like the confident sister I knew. It sounded thin, like it was cracking under invisible weight. "I know, I know, Mom. I don't know how to survive if she stops loving me." My heart stumbled. I leaned slightly closer to the door, confusion already tightening in my chest. "She deserves to know who she really is," Mom whispered. There was a long silence. I could hear the soft sound of someone crying. Mira. I had never heard Mira cry like that before. Growing up, she was the calm during every storm. When I was afraid of thunder, she sat beside my bed, counting seconds between lightning and sound, telling me storms always pass. "I was just a child myself," Mira said between sobs. "I didn't know how to raise her. I barely knew how to breathe without being scared." My mind snagged on her words, but it hadn't fully understood yet. Mom spoke again, gently but firmly. "You were 16, terrified and alone. You carried that baby with more courage than most adults ever show." The world inside my chest stopped beating. "She was so tiny when she was born," Mira whispered. "I remember holding her and thinking she deserved a mother who wasn't shaking." My fingers tightened around the glass of water I had been holding. My palms were wet with sweat, and suddenly the hallway felt too narrow, like the walls were slowly folding inward. "We decided together," Mom continued, "I would raise her as mine. It was the only way to give her a normal life, a safe life." I pressed my shoulder against the wall to keep myself upright. My ears rang so loudly, I thought I might faint, but their voices kept slicing through the noise. Every time she called me big sister, it felt like my heart was breaking and healing at the same time, Mira said, her voice trembling violently. When she ran to me after her first school play, when she cried on my shoulder after her first heartbreak, I wanted to tell her. God, I wanted to tell her so many times. Tears blurred my vision, but I didn't wipe them. I was too afraid that moving would make the moment real. "She found the hospital record," Mom said quietly. My stomach dropped. "I saw the confusion in her eyes," she continued. "She knows something isn't right." "I'm so scared she'll hate me," Mira whispered. "She won't," Mom said, though her voice shook. "She loves you more than anyone." The glass slipped from my hand. It shattered against the floor like a gunshot, sending water and shards across the hallway. The conversation inside stopped instantly. Footsteps rushed toward the door, and before I could even think about running or hiding, it opened. They stood there, frozen, their faces drained of color. I stared back at them, my vision trembling through tears I couldn't stop anymore. "How long?" Mom whispered, her voice breaking. "How long have you been there?" "Long enough," I said, though my voice sounded like it belonged to someone else. Mira took one shaky step toward me. "Tima, please!" "You're my mother," I said, interrupting her, the words falling out like broken glass from my mouth. She collapsed into tears, nodding helplessly. "And you!" I looked at Mom, my chest aching so violently I thought it might split open. "You raised me, knowing this every single day?" She covered her face, sobbing. "I raised you because I loved you, not because you weren't hers, but because you were ours. Ours." The word wrapped around me like both a wound and a blanket. My legs gave out, and I slid down the wall onto the floor. Memories flooded me so fast I couldn't breathe. Mira teaching me to ride a bicycle. Mom staying up all night sewing my school costumes. Mira kissing my forehead when she thought I was asleep. Mom holding my hand during vaccinations, even though she hated hospitals. Every moment was real. Every moment was love. And yet everything felt rewritten. Why didn't you trust me with the truth? I asked, my voice cracking into pieces. We trusted you, Mira whispered, kneeling in front of me, but not touching me. We didn't trust the world. We didn't trust what it would do to you, or to me. I watched you grow into someone extraordinary, Mom said through tears. We kept telling ourselves we would tell you when the timing was right, but there is never a perfect time to break your child's heart. Her child. I looked at them both, really looked. The same curve in our smiles, the same stubborn crease in our brows. Two women who had built my life out of sacrifice and fear and overwhelming love. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore, I whispered. Mira shook her head desperately. You are still you. You are still the girl who made us both believe we did one thing right in this life. Silence wrapped around us, heavy and trembling. I wiped my cheeks slowly, my hands still shaking. I don't know what to call either of you now. Mom nodded painfully. Mira lowered her head like she was preparing to lose me forever. But something inside my chest shifted. Beneath the shock, beneath the grief, there was something steady, something that refused to let go. I know one thing, I said softly. They both looked up. I have two women who loved me enough to destroy themselves just to give me a chance at a better life. Fresh tears spilled down their faces. I don't understand everything yet, I continued, my voice trembling but stronger now. And maybe it will hurt for a long time. But love doesn't disappear because truth arrives. Mira reached out slowly, like she was asking permission without words. After a long, fragile second, I took her hand. Then I reached for Mom's too. Their fingers wrapped around mine, warm and shaking. Maybe, I said quietly. I don't have to choose who is my mother. The room filled with broken sobs again, but this time they felt different, softer, almost relieved. I might just be lucky enough, I whispered, squeezing their hands tighter, to have two. And for the first time since the truth shattered my world, I felt something fragile begin to rebuild inside my chest. Not the life I thought I had, but perhaps a deeper, truer one waiting to be written from here.